Hello everyone, there has been some very interesting news when it comes to combat styles for 7.0, and we finally have some answers to some important questions about our characters. A quick too long didn't listen is that if you are a tech character, you will not be able to change your existing combat style, but you will be able to add a second one. So if you're a vanguard now, you'll be a vanguard in the expansion, plus a second of your choice. If you're a force user, you will not be able to change your first advanced class to a different combat style, except if your character's alignment does not match their faction. For example, you're a dark side Jedi or you're a light side Sith, you may be able to flip their combat style to the opposite alignment combat style. Lastly, if you're a preferred player, like you subscribe, you unlock the second combat style, and then you later unsubscribe, you will temporarily lose that second combat style, but it won't be lost forever. And the combat style that you have by default that you'll get left will be the one that you last had active. So here's the actual developer post. What I'm going to do is I'm going to read this out in full, and then I'm going to give you my own explanation, and then we're going to go over some examples, and I hope that helps you figure out what's going to happen to your character in the upcoming expansion and some advice. Hi all, says Chris Smith. I wanted to jump in and try and clarify some of the potential confusion in this thread. There are two different topics here, the ability for existing players to change combat style upon logging into the 7.0 game update, and the rules around characters with Force origin stories when they are offered an option to swap combat styles with their opposite aligned mirror. Existing characters and combat styles. As Jackie posted, we fully intended for current characters to be able to choose a preferred combat style upon logging in for game update 7.0. We have worked for some time to try and make this happen, but recently ran into some technical hurdles that unfortunately prevent us from supporting this. So, as a result, when you log into the game after 7.0, your primary combat style will be your current advanced class. Choosing your advanced class was designed to be a permanent choice, and we will continue this with combat styles. We have no current plans to introduce a method to change one of your combat styles. As we previously stated, the ability to have a second combat style and the additional loadouts that come with it are features for active subscribers. Related to this topic, we did see a question being asked of what happens to my second combat style if my subscription lapses. In short, your second combat style will become unusable, including its loadouts. Note the quotation around the word second. If your subscription lapses, your usable combat style will be the one you last logged out on when the cancellation hits your account. This means that if you log out on your primary combat style, you will continue to be able to play with that one and its loadouts. If you log out on your secondary combat style, you will continue to be able to play with that one and its loadouts. Essentially, whichever combat style is active when your sub lapses is the one you will continue to use when you log back in. Force origin story considerations. Force origin stories have some special considerations, since there are some restrictions in combat style choice that tech origin stories do not share. To a brand new player, or a player who has not unlocked their Dark 5 or Light 5 achievements in their Legacy, so Legacy of Sacrifice and Legacy of Unity, they are not presented with the option to choose an opposite aligned combat style at character create, nor when they unlock their second combat style, with one exception. If a player without these unlocks has been playing their character with opposite aligned moralities, such as a Jedi origin story as a dark side character or a Sith origin story as a light side character, they will receive the option to swap their current combat style to the opposite alignment equivalent upon completing their Act 3 story. In addition, when they are prompted to select their second combat style, they will have all Force combat styles available to them. Force origin story players who have already unlocked Light 5 and Dark 5 achievements will not see any restrictions, and all combat styles are available to them at both character create and when choosing their second combat style. There has been no change in the design of the Force origin story considerations, which was first shared in another post. You can listen to me talking about all of these restrictions and expand on why the philosophy behind these decisions is in the linked podcast in this post. However, to build upon Jackie's clarification post, we wanted to give Force Origin Story players some choice when the 7.0 update releases, so all pre-7.0 Force characters that have opposite alignment to their current class will be given the option to swap their primary combat style to the opposite aligned equivalent upon logging in post 7.0. This means if you're a Jedi Knight or Jedi Consular and have at least one dark side point away from 0, you will be given this choice. Likewise, if you're a Sith Warrior or Sith Inquisitor and have at least one light side point away from 0, you will be given this choice. This will be regardless of any legacy unlocks or otherwise. Once that character is in the game, and the swap choice has been made or refused, the rules as described above will still apply. Finally, I wanted to address some comments around my clarifications in Discord about the above topic. What I stated in my previous post is still true. I've recently been trying to clarify confusion around swapping Force combat styles by repeating the same information we revealed in the podcast and linked in the official forums. I will typically include a link to the official sources to reinforce where this information originated from. Any new info around combat styles or any other topic will be shared through official channels such as our blogs, the forums, our live streams, etc., and those mediums will be used to reinforce or clarify any questions being answered elsewhere. Thanks, Chris. There is also a nice little second post by the community manager named Jackie, and here's how it goes. Hi everyone, I wanted to take a moment to address some thoughts I believe will be made in response to Chris's post, so I hope you'll allow me to have a more heart-to-heart moment with you all. I recognize how late this post is being made, and what day it's being made on. Friday. This is not an attempt to bury information or hope that no one will notice it. We were working on reading the various posts about this topic, taking in the feedback, and making sure that the message was concise and clear. I recommended the post be made today, Friday, rather than let the weekend pass because we felt this clarification would be beneficial to players reading it. I know how passionate this player base is because you all love this game very much, and I know that difference of opinion tends to happen as does debate, especially on these forums. I just ask that you continue to be civil with one another and also with us and be mindful of the guidelines of these forums. Thank you. Best, Jackie. So in some of my previous videos, you may have heard me getting very frustrated that we didn't have answers about some things that I considered kind of important to figure out how this system in its basic form will actually work. But yeah, that seems to have answered most of them. There's still kind of some confusion in the player base because that was a big, long, detailed post. The great news is, between that post and previous information, we have about 90 to 95% of all the information about how combat styles will work, which is great. So now I'm going to break that post into my own explanation, and after that we'll go through some examples. So here we go. When creating a Jedi Knight, you'll have the ability to choose between 4 combat styles: Guardian, Sentinel, Sage, and Shadow, who all fight with lightsabers and the light side of the Force, but who each have a very different way of approaching combat. Your combat style choice is a permanent choice, so choose wisely when creating your Jedi Knight. If you have earned the Dark 5 achievement on any of your characters on your server, you'll also be able to choose from the dark-sided combat styles as well. The Juggernaut, Marauder, Sorcerer, or Assassin will be added to the list you can choose from when creating a level 1 Jedi Knight character. If you're a newer player and didn't have Dark 5 unlocked and didn't have the option to choose a dark side combat style when you are first creating your character, while you are playing the story, if you make dark-sided decisions and your character has turned towards the dark side by moving their character alignment bar into the dark, you will have the option to flip your chosen combat style to its dark-sided counterpart, Juggernaut, Marauder, Sorcerer, or Assassin, while remaining a Jedi Knight. This choice to flip happens after you reach Chapter 3 of your Jedi Knight origin story. If you're an experienced player and already had the Dark 5 achievement on any of your characters on your server, you won't get the option to flip your character, since you had the option to choose a dark side combat style straight away at level 1 when you were originally creating your character. And here's an important note for players who had characters that existed before the expansion, so a lot of you watching this video. If you already have a Jedi Knight created, the first time you log into them after the expansion launches, if you made dark-sided decisions and your character has turned towards the dark side by moving their character alignment bar into the dark, you will have the option to flip your chosen combat style to its dark-sided counterpart while remaining a Jedi Knight. So this is a special gift For existing characters who have flipped alignment, so dark-sided Jedi or light-sided Sith, will have the option to flip to their alignment mirror. So if you were currently a Guardian, if you're a dark-sided Guardian, will have the option to flip to the Juggernaut when you log into the expansion. Like I said, this is kind of like a one-time gift from the developers to give us the option to flip an existing character, since the option didn't exist to make a dark or light opposite combat styles character until the expansion launched. After that one-time special flip gift takes place, all the other rules will still apply. In addition to all that, as a newer player, when you complete Chapter 3 of the Jedi Knight origin story, subscribers will be able to pick up a second combat style. This second combat style choice is permanent, but you will be able to swap between your first and second choice while playing. You will be able to choose from Guardian, Sentinel, Sage, and Shadow. If you have also earned the Dark 5 achievement on any of your characters on your server, you will be able to choose from the dark-sided combat styles as well. The Juggernaut, Marauder, Sorcerer, or Assassin will be added to the list of all 8 you can choose from for your second combat style. Now here's where it gets fun. If you're an experienced player and have already completed Chapter 3 of the Jedi Knight origin story on any of your Jedi Knight characters on your server, subscribers will be able to choose your second combat style immediately after you create your character, and you won't have to wait to complete your origin story to pick up your second combat style. So that means if you have existing characters who have finished their class story, when the expansion launches, you should be able to just log into them and pick your second combat style for them right away. Once you've chosen your Jedi Knight's combat style and finished creating your character, you can then choose your discipline. Your discipline is your specialized way of fighting, and each combat style has 3 options to choose from. Your discipline is not a permanent choice, and you can easily switch between the 3 discipline options tied to your combat style. If you're a subscriber who has a second combat style chosen, you'll have a total of 6 disciplines you can choose from at any given time. All of that info was for Force users. Tech users, like Scoundrels or Vanguards, are a lot easier because they do not have any type of alignment when it comes to dark or light. Players who reach Chapter 3 on their tech user characters will be able to pick up a second combat style from any of the 8 tech user options. Players who have already completed their class story for that class can choose a second combat style right away. So if you're playing a Scoundrel right now, before the expansion launches, your first combat style will be Scoundrel in the expansion, and you'll be able to add a second combat style of your choice of any of the 8 tech class combat styles. So now let's go over some examples, and I hope these examples help you understand what might happen to your particular character, because it is a bit of a convoluted system. There's a lot of permutations. There's a lot of things that could happen to your character depending on whether you're a new player, old player. Do you have alignment restrictions? Do you have Dark 5 or Light 5 unlocked? Have you finished your story or not finished your story yet? Hopefully this helps. Start with one of my characters. I have a Sith warrior Juggernaut that I created years ago. I've been a player for a while now, but I only have one character so far on my server. She's my main and only character. She's finished her story, and she decided to bring order and equality to the Empire, taking down its evil from the inside, and leans towards the light side of the Force, even though she's a Sith. On her character sheet before the expansion, when I roll over her character sheet alignment bar, it shows she is alignment positive 3000, light 1. Because she's not neutral and not dark, which is kind of the default, when I log into her after the expansion launches, I will have the one-time gift option to flip her combat style from the dark-sided Juggernaut to its light-sided mirror counterpart, the Guardian. This seems cool, so I decide to flip her, and she becomes a Sith warrior Guardian instead of a Juggernaut. This is a permanent choice. I can't flip-flop. Because I'm a subscriber and because she finished her story, I can add a second combat style to her right away when I log in for the expansion. And cool, since I had the option to flip my character, I should also have all 4 light side combat styles to choose from in addition to the 4 dark side ones. I'll pick up Sorcerer as my second one for some sweet lightning action. At least that's how I think it works. Don't forget though, you can't combine combat styles in any way. I can't use my light side Guardian and dark side Sorcerer powers at the same time, wahaha. but I can swap between Guardian and Sorcerer depending on how I want to play that day. Okay, example number 2. I have a Jedi Consular Shadow. I have a ton of characters on this server that I played a lot. My Shadow is a pure light side character who saved the galaxy and is a paragon of the Jedi. When I log into her when the expansion launches, since her light side alignment matches her being a Jedi, she won't have the option to flip unlike my Sith warrior earlier did. Her first combat style will remain as Shadow. I am sad because although she is light side in this story, I really like the way Force Lightning looks. Because I'm a subscriber, and because she has finished her story, I can still add a second combat style to her right away when I log in for the expansion. On this server, I have unlocked the Dark 5 achievement through one of my other characters, which means that when I go to choose a second combat style, I'll have all 8 combat styles available, 4 dark side and 4 light side. I was sad I originally couldn't flip my Shadow over to the dark side combat style, but at least I can choose a dark side combat style as my second combat style. I had kind of hoped to be able to choose 2 totally new combat styles and not be stuck with the Shadow, but that's not how it works. So I can choose Assassin as my second combat style to fling some lightning or even pick up Marauder if I want to try something totally different. Alright, let's do example number 3, my Trooper Vanguard. I have a Trooper Vanguard. She's my main character and is all caught up with the stories. When I log into her when the expansion launches, since she's not a Jedi or Sith, there's no option to flip her in any way. Her first combat style will automatically be Vanguard since she was a Vanguard before. Because I'm a subscriber and because she has finished her story, I can add a second combat style to her right away when I log in for the expansion. Because she's a tech user, she'll have all 8 tech user styles to choose from. I want to occasionally be able to use stealth, so I decide to choose operative as my second combat style. Now, when I want to tank, I'll choose Vanguard. And when I want to sneak or do damage, I'll swap over to operative, because I find it a lot of fun to attack with. Okay, number 4, a new character, new player for a dark-sided Jedi Knight. I'm a brand new player. I don't have any achievements or any characters to have finished their stories or anything cool like that. Maybe I've got like a level 30 smuggler, but that's about it. I'm going to create a brand new Jedi Knight character now that the expansion has launched. I've been waiting for this. I will have the 4 default light side options available: Guardian, Sentinel, Sage, and Shadow. I'm going to make a Guardian right away. I've heard maybe I can make them dark side, but I don't see that option to do that when I'm creating my character. So I just make my Jedi Knight a Guardian. As I play the story, I do evil deeds and start turning towards the dark side. Since I take my time, a few months later, I eventually finish my Jedi Knight origin story. Woohoo! Because I have been choosing dark side options, after I finish my story, I will get the option to flip my character from Guardian to Juggernaut. I can say yes or no. I'm excited that I unlocked an option to have a dark side power, so I say yes! So I'm now a Juggernaut. I play for a while more and I decide I really like the game, and I decide to subscribe. Since I'm a subscriber, I also now can add a second combat style to my character. Because I earned the option to flip my character, I will also have the option to choose either a dark or light side second combat style. If I'd gone full light side while playing, I would only have the light side options available for my second combat style. I decided to choose Sorcerer as my second combat style because I thought it would be cool to have both Force Choke and Force Lightning on the same character. I can't use them at the same time, but I can swap between Juggernaut and Sorcerer, so that's pretty cool and pretty close. Okay, example number 5. A new character, but for an experienced player. I'm a player who's been playing for years and I have a ton of characters and achievements. Woohoo! I'm going to create a brand new Jedi Knight character now that the expansion has launched. Because I'm an experienced player, I have the Dark 5 achievement unlocked. Okay. I didn't have it before the expansion, but I figured out how the system works and ground out diplomacy and PvP'd on my character with the highest dark side alignment until I got the Dark 5 achievement. Yes! When I go to create the new Jedi Knight character, because I do have the Dark 5 achievement, I can make him choose a dark side combat style right away when I create him. I'm going to make him a Jedi Knight Marauder at level 1 and terrify everyone on Tython, and I'm totally gonna get him some evil looking robes. Because I'm a player who already has the Dark 5 achievement, I won't see any type of option to flip him when I finish my story. I will be able to add a second combat style to him though, because I am an experienced player and have already ran a Jedi Knight through the story in the past. Okay, I've got like 3 Jedi Knights already. I'll be able to add that second combat style right away once I'm in-game, like a few seconds after I get out of the first cutscene. I don't have to wait to finish the story. Since I have the Dark 5 achievement, I'll even have all 8 combat styles to choose from, and because I'm an edgy Jedi, I'm going to make him a Marauder and Assassin. No light side garbage for me. Whee! The only part I'm sad about is that I can't use my double-bladed lightsaber while I'm a Marauder, since we don't get to mix and match weapons. It's okay, I can still be super edgy. Alright, we could keep going on with these examples for eternity because of all the different ways that it's decided how your character will turn out. But we're going to stop here and we're going to go over a little bit of our summary and how you can prepare for the expansion. With all this info, there's not a lot you need to do to prepare your characters for the expansion when it comes to combat styles. The only thing you might want to keep in mind is that if you want the option to flip any of your characters, they must be at least one dark side or light side point away from 0 for the option to flip them to come up. That means if you want to flip and are a Jedi, you need to go earn dark side points, and if you're a Sith and want to flip, go earn light side points. Easiest way to do this is through diplomacy and war zones. That's the only one that's a bit of a rush to do. If you want to have opposite alignment combat styles, either for creating a new character at level 1 or adding a second combat style for those non-flip-flop characters, you'll also need to grind out either Dark 5 or Light 5 on any of your characters so you have the achievement ready to go. Lastly, I've seen people asking if they should create characters now or later. The answer to that is really going to depend on what you want your final character to look like and what achievements you have. For example, if you want to play a Jedi Knight who is a Guardian and a Sage, no problem, go ahead and create that now. But if you want a Jedi Knight who starts off as a Marauder, you may want to hold off until the new character creator is available if you have Dark 5 unlocked. While the information we got was detailed and a little confusing due to all the options, I'm super glad we finally seem to understand exactly how the new system will be working. I hope this in-depth explanation and all the examples help you decide what type of character you want to make, and I'm really hoping I got it right this time. See you all in the expansion. If you want to show your support for these super in-depth guides and news videos about your favorite game, visit Swtorista.com/support, especially as we're working towards the expansion here. And if you want more Star Wars The Old Republic videos to show up on your YouTube homepage, subscribe to this channel. See you later, and good luck figuring out your characters. Bye!